Welcome to the next video in Compiling Code with Batch Files series. Today we're going to look at passing command line flags to the batch file. Let's get into it. You may be thinking, this is really inefficient. I mean, I would like to be able to do a complete clean and rebuild of my project, but I don't want to do it every single time. And of course you don't. What we can do here is add a command line flag that we pass to the script and only clean if the flag is present. Let me show you the code first, and then I will explain it. So here's the code, and we're going to have this flag right here, -clean. That's the flag we're going to look for. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. You can see if this cryptic thing is empty, then we go to end parse args. Okay. If cryptic thing again is equal to -clean, then we delete the bin, delete the build. We say cleaning project files. Otherwise, we don't know what it is. So we say, hey, it's an unknown flag. And then we shift, and then we go back to parse args, which starts again. So what in the world are we doing? When you call a batch file, any arguments that are passed to it come into your script as %1 for the first one, %2 for the second one, all the way to %n for the last one. You can access these the same way you can just for a variable. We could say echo, what is %1? We could do this for 2, 3, for 4. Let's see what happens. If we go and we stick some command lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we run it, look at that. What is 1, 2, 3, 4? And you might ask, yeah, but shouldn't it start at 0? And it does. However, we'll see right here, the 0 one that's passed to you is actually the name of the file that it's running. So we mostly don't need that. It's good to know it's there. So if you recall, there was a shift. What shift does is moves everything over. So 1 becomes 0, 2 becomes 1, 3 becomes 2, and so on. What we could do is just say, here is 1 a bunch of times. Now if we shift it and we add that to everything, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you see where this is going. So shift says, hey, go to the next one until they're all gone. So now we have that weird syntax where it's %1% and it's in quotes. And what in the world is happening here? This just makes it the same no matter what you pass. So you won't have weird errors where, oh, well, they put a quote around it or they didn't quote it, or it's got spaces, it doesn't have spaces. How in the world are you supposed to check for whether or not it has quotes or not? We don't want to do any of that. So we just strip the quotes out and then we put them back in. And so no matter what you pass in, the second one will always have quotes. It will always be the same. Now that we understand what is happening, this should be a lot easier to understand. We have our parse args label, and then we take out the quotes and surround it with quotes, so it's always got quotes. We say, hey, if %1 is empty, then we go and parse args, and we're done. If it's not empty, so if it's -clean, then we remove these and we say cleaning project files. And here you see how you do it if else. You just say else and you have more parentheses. Now we're going to say, hey, unknown flag, and we're going to spit it out. So now we shift over all the variables and we check through. This is basically a while loop through all of the parameters that you've passed. What this means is we can run our batch file and it just builds the code. Or we could send a -clean. Now it's cleaning the project files. We should be able to put it in quotes and it won't matter. And in fact, it doesn't. And if we misspell it, clean, if we misspell it, it's going to say unknown flag. This is a very helpful thing to have in your toolkit of stuff to do with your batch file. And there you have it. Passing command line flags to your batch file. The next episode looks at delayed expansion. It's not something you need all the time, but it's good to know. So until next time, happy coding, stay curious.